Ladies and gentlemen, today is something that needs to be brought up to your attention because most kids are having this kind of issue, and it's mainly because they are being taught things that should not be even considered to be natural. What I'm trying to say is that today there's many challenges with today's kids' lives, especially young teenagers. Yes, teenagers. I'm not saying from 17 and above. I'm talking from 16, let's take it back. 16 and above currently, from 15 and below. Mainly because there's a lot of issues within my own friendship I have with certain people I know. And then I see it every day as I walk out the door, and I just hear about it from everyone who wants to talk about it. Because they can. First Amendment, people. This is what I'm doing. I'm exercising it. Freedom of speech. Yes. But that's one of the things that people talk about. This is why we need to talk about this stuff, which is why kids today are being over dramatic, meaning too emotional, unable to think clearly without doing proper research, and just like mostly going on ahead without thinking. Well, then again, that's all pretty much all the teenagers do. Then again, I could also just add in, I don't know, let's say underage dating, underage cursing, underage knowledge when kids should not even be knowing. For example, sex. Why? I'm in a game, right? This is about 5 years ago. I'm playing a game. Oh, I say about it. Not 5 years ago. Halo Reach came out in 2010. I got the Xbox around 2012. No, 2011-ish. So yeah, it was about a couple of years ago. But yeah, I am playing this game, matchmaking. I'm with my friends. We got done with the machinima. We are playing matchmaking, big team battle. No, I take it back, it's invasion. But yes, then all of a sudden I hear this kid, a child, playing. Initially I'm thinking, okay, that's kind of weird. But then think of the knowledge he says. And I quote, "I am going to F-word you the way I F-word my mom." End of quote. Of course you know what the F-word is. I just said it because it's against my personal choice, belief to say curse words. But this kid was bragging about it. He was bragging that he F's his mom. He was bragging that he was going to go do all these nasty things to us. And yet he was only a child. Not even around 9. Yes, he even says that. So, me and my buddies, you know what we did? We had a good time. Not because we died from him. It's because what we did. We just hunted him down throughout the game. Every time we find him, we teabagged his body. And he got mad. And we enjoyed it. Well, getting him mad, not the teabagging. But then again, the teabagging, he kind of deserved it. But yeah. So nowadays, though, come to this present time, we are in an age where the adults now are not even thinking about the way it was, like, say, after World War II, during the golden age of America, so to say. When adults were able to think more maturely, they were able to censor themselves along with the children. No one was talking about all this wide knowledge of cursing, all this wide publicity of sexual stuff. Thankfully, that was a perfect time for children to learn and come together. That's why we have the good parents. But no, now we have to go ahead and live in an age where we see kids with young parents who are learning bad things just because the parents want to go ahead and YOLO it. YOLO. No. Just no. Why do we have to live in an age with kids cursing? Look, I'm going to say it straight up. Profanity is the inevitable crutch of the inarticulate. Meaning, people are not able to think. They just say all these fill-in words. The curse words. Just because they can't think of anything educational to say. They have to say, oh, F word you, or you're an A word, you're this you're a beep, just because I'm going to beep, what the beep, Why? No, think clearly, use your words. You have been given a brain, which is a great gift for humanity. That's the thing that separates us from animals. We have to use this brain and knowledge that we learn from school, English, use your language, and please use it. Well, I guess I felt like Shia LaBeouf. But yes, don't use profanity. Profanity is something that is bad, especially with young kids who should be getting higher education knowledge. They should be brighter than the current generation, which we are. But unfortunately, no, things are getting worse. That is why Common Core is coming into play. Okay, I'm going to bring this up about Common Core and this thing about how everyone should be equal. That everyone should have no problems. So very recently, there was a story about how this football player, I forget the name, but then his son was in the soccer team, and because the team lost, they didn't do anything, they still got participation trophies. The father, he didn't like that, and he threw it away. That's like the thing about the issue today. We are now teaching kids that everyone gets a reward. For if they are bad, the extreme bottom of the class, bottom of the team, but they still get at a reward, which is wrong to teach kids. It feels like they're obligated to some sort of reward, even in the face of, not defeats, just in humility, after being humiliated very badly, just because they're punished. No. That's the idea. That's why we have rewards, to show you, because you have done such a great job, because you are a great person, for your actions, you have deserved it. It is not to be delivered to you only because you are alive. No. The same thing is with kids today in gaming, regular sports activities. They feel like just because they were the worst, they want to go ahead and sue someone, claim people are hackers just because they are bad. If you reward them with points, they feel like there is no need to get any better. They feel there is no need for a change. Think about it. Now I want to go ahead and bring up to this other thing, which is about underage dating, before I talk about anything about young underage emotional issues. Let's take it back. I'm going to talk about the emotional issues, which leads into the dating, because apparently kids these days, they know nothing. So with the emotional issues, for example, I have many, let's just say I have at least 15 friends who are below the age of 16, which was technically the legal dating age, but till people came along with their people ideas, aka liberals or yellows. Yeah. So now with the emotional strife, again with the idea of being obligated, life is supposed to be easy. There is no such thing as troubles. It's like zippity doodah, zippity yay, my oh my, what a wonderful day. No. Again, like the idea of everything is equal. There's no pains, there's no troubles. It softens the integrity, the strength of modern children, because when something bad and terrible happens, they go to the emotional side, and they forget how the situation may be really small compared to what they are currently thinking. According to the brain, there is two hemispheres, correct? You got the right and the left. One of those is for your critical thinking, things that makes you analyze, do all these complex calculations for you to go ahead and think before you do. Like, you want to think out the issue. The other side is the emotional one. That is where your emotions are the ones that determine your thinking process. Now let me go ahead and put this into a simple situation where one friend, who would be the calculative one, compared to another friend who lets his emotions go first. So situation is that they have been dumped. Okay? No, think about it. That's a bit too extreme, even. Okay? They were grounded after wrecking a car from their parents. The first kid, the calculative one, will go ahead and think about his actions, and he will realize that he was told that he was not to drive the car. He was underage. He did not have his license, and he did realize that he just plain out took the car and wrecked it. And also, again, he didn't know how to drive. The second kid, well, let's go back to the first one. So he would realize his mistakes, and then he would realize that the punishment is just, and it was indeed fair because he did wreck the car without permission, and he did not have the rights and authority. The second friend is the one who go ahead and only think about the sadness and about the punishment. He did take the car, but he thinks it is wrong because he wasn't the one who wrecked the car. It was the guy in front of him that stopped at the red light when the friend B wanted to go ahead and test the suspension of the car. So what we can see here is that friend B is letting his emotions run rampant, and he's thinking about himself along with his own rights about how he is not the one responsible, without thinking about the other stuff. In the end, friend A does what he can to go ahead and not get grounded, while friend B is one who mopes around and just is straight up depressed all the time. He refuses or doesn't even think about the idea of how he is wrong and about the situation. And in the end, friend B is just a mopey person who is always depressed, and again, with all this depression, leads into suicidal. I know this is going very dark, but I wanted to go ahead and tell you how kids are now being more suicidal than any previous generation. Very recently, I had multiple friends who tried to commit suicide. Yes, I know people who try to commit suicide. I know, first time I actually met a suicidal person was in high school. I was a senior. He was a freshman, I'll tell you. So most freshmen, they are around the age of, I would say, 12 to 13. That's like the age of around, when puberty happens to start, and they are preteen. Again, their emotional side is the one that's currently dominating them. So the kid, he is very, again, he lets his emotions run wild. He thinks like, hey, I'm the suicide one because I had a lot of depression. Yes, he acknowledges it, but he is so unable, challenged to think about his depression. He doesn't even wish to even acknowledge any solutions. The second friend I currently have, I am currently trying to work with to not do suicide. Apparently she was being bullied, which bullying is another thing about how kids today are really messed up because they're, again, obligations, domesticity, whatever. But yeah, so she was having a lot of troubles, and me and her friends were trying to go ahead and talk her out of it. In the end, thankfully, she's currently alive and doing well, but, again, she has those challenges, but again, with the love and care of her friends and family, she's doing alright. The third friend was straight up lucky. And I want to go ahead and take this time to acknowledge this friend publicly so he would know not to do it again, and there's multiple people, including myself, that actually care for him. His name is Mitchified. That's a game tag, I know, but I still know that you are listening to this. I'm telling you straight up, you got your family worried, you got your sister on the verge of depression, scared for you. I mean, come on, man! Really? You had to shoot yourself. Thankfully, you didn't hit anything important, except an artery, but yeah, you're still alive because you were saved by a doctor, thankfully. I mean, come on. You already visited the spirit world, paradise, sort of, and be able to talk with your family. Why would you go ahead and let them down, along with your current family living out here on Earth, and even your friends? So yeah. Okay, sorry, back to the issue. Again, suicide is mostly the first and only answer most emotional people, kids, would go to, because they are afraid to talk about this with their parents. They tell their friends who are only online about it, and very few people in real life who they know would not be able to do anything because they too are afraid. So it's like this generation is suicide happy. They don't even want to find solutions. Even if they do, they just can't even just talk about it. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, if you know anyone who is currently in a state of depression, a young kid especially, please show your support. Tell them that you love them. Get their family involved. You gotta let everyone know, because lives are important right now, and no one should be considering the idea of killing themselves. Life is precious among the earth. It's even like, I know I may sound religious, but the idea, the purpose of happiness in this life is to be able to go ahead and live it out. Be able to have a family. Families is like one of the main important principles of why we are here. To become more godlike. Because, like him, our Heavenly Father was able to create children, which is us, to be able to live lives so we could be like him. Because, you know, how we are, creation is one of the important things about being a God. And I'm going to go ahead and now hopefully extend this out to underage kids doing sexual stuff. I hate that. I had to go to high school knowing other teenagers who are below 18, even some I even heard was not even 12, was pregnant and had a kid. Okay, I know I sound a bit hateful, and I sound like a crazy conservative. Yes, I am. Well, yeah. But again, yes, I know I was previously talking about how families are important, but look at those girls. Everyone who currently had sex as the underage person is more than likely to be separated than they are to be married and still have their family. So yeah, it's sad. I mean, you have children who are being born around the world to underage parents who are not getting married and who are not even supporting the family, especially the fathers, which is even more important because fathers are one of the most important idols of a child in his life. So, right now, I'm going off a tangent, but I want to go ahead and bring this back to why this is really important to learn about why it's bad and some ideas of how we should control it. Is that with the emotional states controlling us humans, it is the drive that is leading us into these actions which lead into regrets and choices that are very poor in thought and judgment. So when the time comes of underage dating, it's alright to have friends of the opposite sex and gender. There is nothing wrong with that. But when the moment comes that the feeling is to go ahead and have immoral pleasures with one another, that is the time to back off and think with your brain, not with the thing in your pants. Yes, I am talking about your man part and woman part. Those things are set aside to be only left to your future husband and wife. Because again, it's very private. That's why we call them the privates. But no, children are they're not being censored enough, especially with today's world, which is promoting sex, pornography, nudity, YOLOing it because, you'll have a good time instead of just regular game of ordinary dating of like going to a mini golf course to spend time with the person you are with, to get to know them, to be able to talk. The idea of dating is to be able to find the qualities in that other person of the opposite gender, like if you're a male, you want to find something in a female, and vice versa, about the things that you wish to find in your future spouse. For me, I believe that it's important that dating should be following these like simple ideals. When you go out with a date, you wish to go ahead and treat him with respect at all times. You want to go ahead, just take him out onto a nice, quiet activity where you're able to spend time with each other. You wish to be able to learn from them. You want to have a conversation, yes, talking with them, in a way that does not promote any feelings that will be dangerous or mostly dangerous and nothing to arouse terrible feelings, such as arousing them to feel loved and you want to get in the mood. No, don't do that. You want to get to know them. You want to, most importantly, I would suggest you go on group dating. Group dating is fine. You are able to go ahead, go with another group of friends who wish to date one another, and just have a good time. Not to go ahead and be alone. Do not do those things. So you know how you see those texts saying, "Hey, what are you doing tonight? I'm alone. Come over." No, don't do that. You want to treat each other with respect with this generation. Unfortunately, we don't see that anymore. I'm sorry, but I am unable to go anywhere without hearing any child, any teenager, talk very well about another person without either saying something curse word or calling them something inappropriate. The only place I can find peace is, unfortunately, with my own group of friends who are from the same church as I. Even the ones I currently hang out with in my own machinima groups. Even my original friends from school, Xbox, no, they all changed just because they are unable to think. So what I'm trying to go ahead and tell you is that certain things that should be changed about children today and young adults, especially around the teenage years, is for them to actually learn. Have them learn about what they should say, how they should think, how to control their emotions over their judgment, how to be able to treat one another with good respect, how to go ahead and treat a young woman on a date, and how to treat the male on the dates with respect that will not arouse them into a situation that you would hate. I also wish to go ahead and say that children and young adults should not even consider suicide. They should go ahead and be in these tough situations where they are able to go ahead and have to go ahead and realize their mistakes. Because, unfortunately, we are seeing, again, a generation with higher death rates. And I'm not even including those about natural causes, diseases, or anything. I'm just talking about self-inflictment. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're willing to go ahead and help me out with this idea of helping this younger generation, I would actually like that, and I would support you. Because there's nothing more important than life itself. As finding purposes, building strong and healthy families, and be able to learn and gain education that we will be able to stand tall in challenges that may seem difficult. So ladies and gentlemen, I want you to go ahead and close this out and leave you this day. So, goodbye. And please, think of the children.